Yo, I'm super excited to show you guys why this unit is the most amazing, incredible jamming instrument in the world. Come here, take a look. Take a look, get closer. I even made custom angled USB cables for it because I'm so anal. I'm going to show you how to build a Beatomatic box. Now, if you're a live performing musician who needs a lot of hardware gear or whatever stuff to play, you want to have a Beatomatic box, right? So here's the deal. Here's the Generation 3 Beatomatic. Okay, you have to have a lot of room for power stuff, cabling. Okay, I just kind of took it apart just because I'm making a new one. But here's kind of like what it looks like. Okay, it can fit on one stand. It can house like a ton of gear. But with this unit, I had to, I had to have about 15 minutes of setup time to get it all hooked up. Because I used to have stuff contained in the box. I'd take it out, put it on top of the rail, and then plug stuff in. Now I want to have it all contained. What you want to do is make sure you measure, measure, measure. So here I have some of my gear laid out on the floor. So it's really important to measure the length of your gear. This is going to be how wide it is, okay? So you have to have rails in between these. You have to have a 1/4 inch rail. We're going to use like super lightweight wood. So it's got to be as light as you can make it and as small as you can make it so you can carry it around. You can get around easy by yourself. So there are going to be 1/4 inch rails in here. And so this is going to be all the gear. I have an interface. I have this turntable thing, multi-track looper, a light. Really important, don't forget the light. A little amp for my own monitor inside speaker, Octatrack. There's going to be a couple more units that go up here that it shouldn't like realistically the setup time on this new Beatomatic that I'm setting up is going to be about 1 minute. So I'm really stoked with it. I'm going to go and show you the new box and how to create it right now. Alright, here we are in the workshop, my garage. Here's the new Beatomatic box setup. First I want to show you kind of the type of wood I'm using. So just this really razor thin 1/4 inch baseboard, I think they call it, and some 1/2 inch just I forget what they call that, composite crap. But the main thing you gotta do when you build a Beatomatic box is, of course, measure, 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 right? And I mean, I've been working on the measurements for hours and hours. So, I mean, we look here, there's a measurement for like just the small part of where that interface is with the decks. A measurement for the other side, or actually this is a measurement for the space with the decks, and then I ended up adjusting that to make it bigger. You got the full-on outer spec of it with the rails in there, and then you got like the top, how the top's gonna fit on the bottom, and then more like the inner insert. One of the main things you really got to do is build the shell. So super light. I just got done sanding it. So it's all ready to go. So it's a fully contained box. There's no way to get into it. But see, that's the secret. The secret is you have to then take this perfectly made box and cut around it, around the edge, so that it fits back together perfectly. So after you get done cutting it, we're going to insert rails. We're going to glue it together. Now we're using like liquid nails and just a few screws. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4 screws here, 4 in the back, and 4 on each side. So, what, like about 16 screws? Yeah. So all the screws I have in this right now is 16. That's probably all there's going to be in it. It's going to be super lightweight. So I mean, this thing you could literally like just throw. It's so light. So the next thing we're going to do is draw out where I'm going to take the jigsaw. And basically the one side I want to leave, like if this was where I'm playing it, this is my gear, I'm going to want to come in and cut down and leave a little bit on the bottom here and cut up, and then keep it thick, like right, you know, on the back side of this, I'm going to have it thicker on the bottom. We'll see. Because basically there's going to be inserts along the edges so that when you put the top down, it fits on perfectly. And make sure you measure, because this is kind of what an insert looks like on the inside, but I'm actually going to cut this down more. So it's going to be thinner than this. I think it's going to be like 3 inches and something. I forget my thing here. And then I decide on here 3 3/8 inches high off the bottom, right? Or off, I'm gonna have to figure this out, I think off the bottom. Oh no. Okay, so 3 3/8 from the inside, the bottom of the inside. So it's going to be up to here. So I want to make sure that I'm going to cut this probably halfway so there's a good amount of that insert that it can kind of like snug up against. I think the back of it I'm going to make it a little higher so that there's more to snug up against. I'm not too sure. I'd have to like have a raised area, which I probably will. I gotta figure that out right now, but I'll show you more here in a minute. Glue, glue, glue. There we go. Alright, I gave it the super chop, and if you notice, the rail here is a little bit off, and it got loose. I tried to glue it. This is the hard part, is getting the one side to really glue good. But it's only a 1/4 inch. It's like working with measurements as if you would be working with metal, but with wood. I mean, this wood is like extremely thin to begin with, and then you're only working with tiny slivers. But I'm making the inner rail here, and so the inner rail is going to come across. It's going to be this big long chunk that helps that sliver stay nice and solid with glue. Right now I'm just cutting out where my modules are going to be sticking out, so I should be able to plug my XLRs in here and a power insert or a MIDI. I should have enough room for a power and 2 XLRs and like a MIDI input or output here. I'm thinking, I hope. We'll see, I'm running out of room here. But then there's going to be a big light here and then that audio amp there, so let's see. Thing is flexing so thin. It's like one more notch on the bottom here. That's the one. Sheesh. I'll glue this on as fast as I can before it breaks. Well, you missed the exciting glue session. Unfortunately, I should have recorded it, but it was nasty. I went way too thin on a lot of these pieces, and they were just getting way out of control. But I think I got a handle on it. We'll see. Give you another shot of this. Let's see. Had to get the clamps. Got that middle rail in. That's just going to be held on by liquid nails glue. I got that board on there to kind of keep it from moving because the stuff is so thin. I want that to really get a good blonde. Now you can kind of see what I'm working with here. It's the dashboard. Yeah, the back rail is all just the same height. The side rails are the same height. You can kind of see that there's like an edge below the tip, the top of it, that allows the cover over there to sit right on top. Should squeeze in real nice. We'll see. It might be totally jacked. Might be a couple days of work for nothing, but should get it to work. Once this glue sets, got these clamps holding stuff together, so I'm thinking the clamps should do pretty good. That stuff is so thin right there. Once that sets, I'm gonna let this set for like a good day. It should be good. Alright, see you next day. Here it is, all glued. Next day, as you can see, these rails are pretty much freestanding, glued in rails. They're really solid. So now you got a really solid rib around the box. There was this really thin rail here that was having trouble because of the way it was drilled into this end section here. Kind of made it slope in. So I've been having some trouble with this kind of bowing. It's kind of bowing here, so I had to. Came out this morning and that little rib. The rib was just like bowing out. I had to like re-glue it with some clamps. I'm trying to clamp it down. But these things are pretty darn sturdy. All you needed is just to have that separation, have it kind of, this one, I mean, super tight against the edge there. And this one, I might have to relieve this joint because you can see it kind of bowing that way, but it might be kind of cool. I'm gonna try and leave it like it is, but we'll see. There it is, drying nicely. Very nice lines on it though, around the back and stuff. It's beautiful. Just got done rotoring the power and XLRs for this thing. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but that's what you gotta do, I guess. Hopefully it'll work without making any noise. Gonna have to try and seal the power frequency of the electric field away from these XLRs. It should work. Alright, gonna give you the update here. So I skipped filming the gluing, but here's the paint job. Oh yeah. There's some panels for it. A couple panels that can be removed. It's pretty black. But there's like a little speaker exciter there. Hopefully that works. Got my blip lace holes. Blip lace lighting holes. Well, that's about it for now. How you doing, yo? Hey, here we go. This is the final product. I just installed a speaker yesterday. I got rid of that exciter. I'll show you, but this is the final product, and this is why I call it the most amazing jamming instrument ever created. Here you go. Even the lid paint job is pretty spectacular. Here in the studio I also have the blip lace installed. The lights are installed. Look at how thin that is. Fits like a glove. All the sides are good to go. I had it out at the holiday fair for its inaugural test run, and it worked really good. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when we take the lid off here. It's tight. Nice and tight. Even the other side has a big old JVonD here. What's nice is you can put when you're gigging out, you can put this in front of the instrument and then put your merch, put your CDs or something in there. You're good to go. Show you how this kind of breaks apart here. So, take this off, bust out the keyboard. You got a keyboard in here. Got two wires, power and MIDI. That goes in the joint. This goes back on. Computer comes out. Nano control comes out. And hook up the power line, hook up USB cable there, and then the other USBs, and that's ready to go. Besides this, got this, hook this up. That's ready. And then just plug in the power. Let's get the two XLRs going here. Front of it. You're ready to jam. Let's see if I can fire this up really quick. So I got, the speaker just runs off of this volume knob, but that's not the main out, that's the headphone out, which is nice. See if I can get this thing going. Alright, so I think it's all running now, let's see. Yep. Just take this camera out of here. So got a MIDI in for my foot controller, headphone jack. I also have a little recorder here, record line for my mini recorder that I use. I have input for my microphone, guitar, and whoever I'm jamming with, stereo. Stereo XLR, 1/4 inch, whatever. Black light. Cool thing about this black light is that it comes up too, so not only straight out but up. So if I have black light stuff on top, like near my head or something, it'll light me up there too. And the stereo, little stereo doohickey here. I can crank the bass up or treble, whatever I want to do, which is real nice. And the speaker sounds incredible. That little speaker right there. So I got a personal monitor. BDJ. But I'll usually be looking at my Reason screen here. So like, I got my drums, my Reason drums. So I'm just going to put on Reason right now. So this thing isn't even playing there. So it's just Reason. Crank it up. Got my vocal channel here. Got my first lightsaber synthesizer with the matrix pattern changer. Got my cutoff resonance, my feel. Got my delay, reverbs. Fill fader. Got my other lightsaber synth. Guitar effect knob. Super multi-track looper, so anything that's playing through my lightsabers, my vocal, my guitar, all goes through super multi-track looper. The dried drums. So this system is set up so I have a click track coming out of my cue. So my drums are going through C and D, or channel 1 right here. If I mute it. I can mute it right there as channel 1. And my synthesizers, my multi-effects, or my multi-track loopers going through AB, which is going through number 2 here. So if I turn that up, I can mute that there. So the main out going to the board or the sound system is going out of my Octatrack here. And so what's cool about this is this fader, I can either have it do scratching stuff, effect stuff, or an all-around effects on everything. So, I mean, this thing is rigged, man. So that's kind of a cool thing. So the cue has just a click track. I can either have it, be whatever I want. I can cue out any of these channels to the drummer, because this clean drum sound is, I can replace this with a real drummer who's on the click, and then I can route any of the channels that are playing to that drummer with an individual mix, which is nice. And then I have, the backup bass player, which is actually set up for my one of my rap tunes. But if I change it to change the block over to just that bass track, so what's cool about this is that any of these blocks, like let's take Mother Truck and Disc Golf for example. Well, that one's not really, because some of these songs are so long I gotta wait for it to come around because I have to have it in a certain time frame. But some of these, like let's see, let's just do about, you know what I'm saying. So all these songs, all my rap songs, all my accompaniment tracks come through on this number 5, so I can remix them. So there's the rap track. Without my vocals should be cranking right now. So anywhere in the songs I can remix them. So if I do, let's see, like That's Disco. I guess I got a bad fader there, but so the way you gotta have this set up is to have it in like a 190 some odd bar loop. It's over there somewhere, I can't even see it on here, but and then you can just change your songs by changing the block. To find one that might have some songs. See, right now, I think so like some of these songs where I have to wait for the music to come around, I put in some of the samples. So the sample will play now. Oops. There it is. So I'll have little samples that are jamming. So everything can be totally remixed, if I need to, I can switch just over to Virtual DJ. Right here you can see how much CPU I'm using, like right on the edge. I think I have to have a 192. But if I get rid of virtual DJ, I'm like literally like running like hardly any CPU. Well, I guess there's a little bit. The DSP. So one of the tricks is I have the UR44 here. One of the tricks is if you're going to have like a compressors or stuff on your channels, you'll want to do it in your interfaces options. So like on this vocal channel right here, I'm actually using a high pass filter with a compressor and an EQ within my interface, so that I don't have to put more stuff on my Reason, and that would just like take more DSP power, and it would take more CPU, basically more resources. So yeah, so if we go over here, I think I had to hook up the blip lace on this drummer here. That fader's bad. I gotta use my other one. Weird. If you notice, so the blip lace will go to that drum. So at any time I can take control of both of these lightsabers. Even turn on the arpeggiator here by hitting this forward button. Now I got this set up so that when I change up my my lightsaber, I'm going to change this lightsaber on the right. I have one on the left. I have this one on the right that uses this matrix and this arpeggiator and switcher. I can switch it by simply clicking the button, record button. There it goes, and it switches over. So now I have another sound called wobbly. Let me switch it again. You can see how it works. See, still stays in time perfectly. It's like really cool. But then I can fire up the pattern sequencer. And turn it a little bit. So I have each one of these knobs switch the pattern sequencer through about maybe 6 different ones. So there's like an empty one. So all the way down is going to be empty, and it's going to be able to play the arpeggiating channel. I can turn that off here, play it live if I want. Or turn it past the first quarter here. And it'll start the pattern. Turn it up a little more, it'll add a little more. Turn it up a little more. You get the idea. Wanted to show you really quick kind of what it looks like underneath the guts of this thing, or in the guts, underneath the stuff. I mean, there's like these like edges and stuff everywhere that keep this thing in line, but if I lift this up, you'll see the amplifier, some power units here, the black light. Same kind of thing. I can't lift this up because it's the this is so precise that there's a card, the little card that sticks out a tiny bit right in here. I have to remove this, pull the card out to get this to lift out, which is pretty incredible. I got a couple MIDI merge boxes, a couple more power units. If I take out the if you notice, there's like a really cool stilt with the Johnny that holds it in place. Put this down for a second here. But we got interface. So when I'm jamming, you don't see any of this stuff. None of this is exposed. I did have to put in these little tiny holes. There's little holes in here. And you can see them here just to make sure that these are like, you know, the speed holes, or also known as air holes for the heat. But here's a little plate cover like these. I had to double up on some of these, you know, if you notice the power unit, I kind of doubled up on some of these. Bought these little lengtheners so that you could actually have the power supply sitting sideways. Some of these are meant to go sideways, some of these are meant to go up. Like here's an up one, like this one goes in straight, where some of these would go in sideways. If this one in here would be sticking up to here. Same with this one. So I got these lengtheners that work really nice. I mean, this thing is just stuffed. When I first got this hooked up, it was so tight that no air could move around, and the thing just got really warm. But now there's good enough air now. Here's the MIDI hookup and the headphone jack. This is my Q Mix mono coming out to a stereo headphone line if I ever need it. It's there. I can plug my headphone jack has a splitter. One goes to the headphone, one goes to the amplifier under there. I could take the headphone one out and just plug it into there, and then there's the click track that can go to a drummer straight out. This MIDI can either be hooked up for my foot pedal, or I can reverse it and send a MIDI signal to somebody else. But I think if I'm going to send a MIDI signal to somebody else, I got another MIDI out from this MIDI merge that I can just slip out this groove to somebody. And there's that power supply in the blip lace. That's the blip lace. Can't touch that, I'll fry myself. But there's the XLRs, and this is the record. The recording line is hardwired right into this XLR setup. I did have the blip lace hardwired right into it, but it was sending noise over the line. So if I don't have the blip lace running off of that, oh, here's where the blip lace is running off of the main output on one channel, that drum channel coming out of there, which is linked with the 1 and 2 line out, but it's on a different amp or node or something. It doesn't send that noise back through, so that's the only way I could figure out to do it. But if I unplug that, there's a microphone for the blip lace sitting there. So there's the guts. Like, look at all the very precise little notch there for this. I'm gonna repaint the 2 top panels. Here's that speaker hookup. I actually made this box sealed enclosure with banana plugs. Those banana plugs are pretty solid. You can see it in there. Banana plug. You hear that one power supply is making a nasty noise, but usually I can't hear it because I got the panel on top. Just enough room for all the stuff. So when I go and I put this back in, I'm going to repaint this tube. I actually had it so precise that I actually sanded down the edges on this thing. You can see that there. Because these fit, and also like over here, because this fits right on those lines right there. And look, there's a little notch out too right here. It just fits completely perfect. Just a beautiful unit. So, I hope you liked my Beatomatic Box, the most advanced electronic jamming instrument in the world. If you think you have a better jamming instrument than this, I highly doubt it, but I'd love to check it out if you do. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you later. See you out there, hopefully live at Red Rocks here pretty soon. That'd be freaking bad.